And hopefully this format that you're looking at without looking at any of the words you should be somewhat familiar with. Raise your hand if that looks familiar without looking at the words. About a third of you. So starting this year, all teachers in the TCAP school district are implementing a new way of teaching, and it's called showing you guys your learning goal and then giving you a scale so that you can rate yourself. Where am I on the scale? So you know as you're doing the work where you are and where you need to be. So if you take a look at the first goal for this unit, you need to be able to understand the importance and effect temperature has on products that are egg and dairy based. From the demonstration yesterday, you can tell me one important point about temperature that you learned.
Be careful when heating up milk so it doesn't burn.
Be careful when heating up milk so it doesn't burn. Why? What makes it burn?
The fat going to the bottom.
The protein.
The protein going to the bottom. So you want to stir it, and what else do you want to do when you're heating it? What kind of heat are you going to use?
Just right.
Just right. Goldilocks just right, which for this, it's a slow heat. Okay? And how do you know, Tori, yes, how do you know when it's just right heat?
And
Not too much, not too...
it's steaming and then there's little bubbles around the edges.
When it's really steaming and there's little bubbles around the edges, what is that word called? Not scolding. Scolding is what I do when I say you have it wrong. That's a scold. Who said it over here? You need to change the vowel.
Scalding.
It's scalding. Okay. If you don't stir it and you heat it up too fast and the protein sinks to the bottom and it burns, what's that called?
Rotten milk.
No. It's called scorched. Scorched. Okay. Next, be able to demonstrate how to control heat to produce the desired effects and avoid disasters when preparing the egg dairy-based recipes. What disaster might happen if you don't do those things we just talked about? You're going to have little clumps of burnt in the milk, in the pudding, and it's going to taste burnt. The other, we haven't talked about the next step, which is tempering the yolks. So why do we, first of all, what is tempering?
Just the separating.
It's about heat, it's about temperature again. Tempering. What?
It wasn't too cold or too hot.
Yeah, we're gradually, Michael, we're gradually increasing the temperature, because what do you not want to happen to the eggs? We don't want scrambled eggs. We want nice, elastic, thick gel. And to do that, you have to slowly heat the temperature up. When you're tempering them, remember you need one person whisking and one person drizzling. It works best if you transfer the hot, scalded milk into your liquid measurer before you do that. All right? Tomorrow when we make the cream puffs, you have to be able to describe how and why mechanical leavening works. So what is the mechanical leavening that we talked about? What are we creating? We're creating air. We can either do it by stirring, or we can do it by adding temperature, steaming. But what do you have to do for the steam to work, for it not to escape? You have to trap it, so you have to have a nice, elastic dough. Right? Okay. When we're also trapping steam or liquid when we make the pudding. After you temper the pudding, you're going to put it back on the stovetop, heat it all the way to what's the magical temperature?
Just really.
It's not. It's a specific number. 212. If you, those of you who become chemists, which I hope some people in here will be have a chemistry career. You're gonna think back and say, my food matters teacher, I can't remember her name, told me about this. That 212 was an important temperature because all kinds of molecular changes happen. And what you guys are gonna witness is when you get to 212, all of a sudden you have this really watery liquid turns into a